They send Deng curling and they put it in his hands against Landry Fields. Deng, fadeaway jumper. It's good.
LUOL Dangerous does it again!
You know, it's amazing to see how players' games change over the years. Whether for the good or for the worse, it's always interesting to see it happen with your own eyes. To see a player at the top of their game and then to not even seeing them getting playing time. It's kind of sad. But hey, that's just the league. But why though? Why does this happen to these players? Is it the injuries, the mental issues, or just the politics of the game? This is the career of LUOL Deng. In 2004, LUOL Deng was drafted 7th overall by the Phoenix Suns, but was later traded to the Bulls. As a rookie, he wasn't really known throughout the league, but nonetheless, he was still a pretty decent player. In his first couple of seasons, his stats didn't really stand out as much, but he was a huge impact player. He was the type of player that could chip in about 15 points a night and still guard the best player on the other team. At the time, he was a good piece for a not so good team, but one day, that all changed. In 2008, the Chicago Bulls drafted Derrick Rose, the first overall pick, and the team already having a developing Joakim Noah, Deng was finally getting the help that he needed. They were Chicago's big three, and Chicago was finally becoming contenders again. With the spotlight now on the Bulls, LUOL Deng started to show the league that he could play. In 2009, he averaged 18 points, 7 rebounds, and 2 assists. He was stuffing the stat sheets, and they were starting to make the Eastern Conference tough again. They were competing with powerhouse teams like Paul George and the Indiana Pacers, the Boston Celtics, and last LeBron James, the Heat, and the Cavaliers.
You like it? You think Cleveland's cool? I mean, I never heard anybody say I'm going to Cleveland on vacation.
LUOL Deng played a big part in the Bulls being the #1 team in the league. They were even projected to win a title and build on the Chicago Bulls legacy. But then, it all happened. LUOL Deng would be a household name if it wasn't for injuries and LeBron James. Everything was hitting him and his team all at once. In 2010, even though they were eliminated by LeBron James and the Heat, they were still in good spirits because they felt they had a good unit and they'll be back there next year for the rematch. But they were wrong. The infamous injury happened. When Derrick Rose got injured, there were a lot of doubters saying that this was the end of the franchise. They were basically disrespecting LUOL Deng. They were saying things like how he's just a decent role player on a very good team. He didn't have his former MVP to space the floor for him anymore. To sum it up, he was a fluke. Instead of backing down, Deng just used this as motivation. The following 2 seasons, he embraced the role of being a new star of the team. And with all that pressure, I say he handled it great. Instead of paying attention to the negative commentary about how the Bulls were done, he just put all that to the side. He just played his game. Even though the team wasn't projected to win any championships or nothing like that, they were still a pretty decent squad. Deng had made his mark. Chicago was his city. Then suddenly, everything changed. The Bulls organization felt it was time to rebuild, so in 2013, LUOL Deng was traded to the Cleveland Cavaliers. He went from being part of a decent team to one of the worst teams in the league instantly. He was shocked that the Bulls even wanted to get rid of him in the first place. I mean, he was coming off his career high season, and he was in his prime. It was a tough adjustment for him, and it definitely showed stat-wise. Before he was traded to the Cavaliers, he averaged 19 points, 7 rebounds, and 4 assists. After the trade, his numbers slipped to 14 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists. It was a drastic drop. This was the first time he had to go through something like this in his career. I mean, think about it. He had different teammates, different coaching staff, and a different environment. It was just a whole new learning process that he wasn't prepared for. And to make things even worse, the next season, he signed a 2-year deal with the Miami Heat. He had to start the adjustment process all over again. But lucky for him, the Miami Heat situation was a perfect fit for him. With Miami Heat's Chris Bosh out for the season, LUOL Deng became the perfect role player. Since Bosh's absence, LUOL Deng averaged 18 points, 9 rebounds, and 2 assists. He just caught fire at the right time. Throughout his 2 years with the Miami Heat, he averaged 13 points, 6 rebounds, and 2 assists. He helped them make playoff runs, but due to the lack of star power, they didn't really go too far. Later on in 2016, LUOL Deng signed to the Los Angeles Lakers for a massive 4-year, $72 million contract. This was definitely a shock to the league because first off, he was only a role player, and secondly, he was 31 years old. There was literally no way that you can build your team around him. So yeah, you can say that Deng got away with robbery. But to this day, we really don't know what the Lakers' intentions were, because ever since he signed, he hasn't been playing at all. It was definitely frustrating him due to the fact that he's not even hurt. You paid him all this money just for him to ride the bench? He feels as if he can benefit the team, but he's just never given a chance. Why? We have no clue. I understand that they're trying to rebuild, but why pay him that much money? The Lakers really just don't know how to use their talent, and it's sad to see a great player like LUOL Deng become a victim of this. With the time running down on his career, what could possibly be the next move for him? I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Peace.